All right, the Red Sox. First of all, this Marte thing is pretty bizarre, right? If he's probably their best position player or pretty close to their best position player, and he's with the team and just decides not to go to Fenway last night.
Yeah,
sounds like he may have some, mental health challenges. Maybe
it certainly seems like he's dealt with issues in the past and is continuing to deal with some issues. Right, one time his house was broken into, and so he bolted. I think this is either his second or third time during the season that something like this has happened. And right, when you got Torey Lovulo scrambling, it's one thing for him to be away. It's one thing for him to be away unexpectedly, but for the manager to basically be like, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, he actually said he spoke to him on the telephone yesterday afternoon.
Right.
It's like, well, where are you? And he said, I came away from the conversation with no answers.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, that's not a good situation. And as you pointed out, he's one of their better players. He is a good player.
Sure.
And it certainly is a situation, a bizarre situation that's worth monitoring to that extent.
All right, Adley Rutschman. What did I say? 136.
Yeah, he stinks.
Okay. Well, no. Hey, 2 hits last night, Ruch. So he's on the way. On the way back.
Well,
he's been injured for a while.
One of those hits was a jam job off of a position player.
I saw that. Yeah. I have no issues with Wilson Contreras. Has been certainly surpassed any expectations I had of him. But, Roots, seriously, I'm no big Yoshida fan. I actually think he's a huge waste of money at like $18 million a year. But they'll miss him if Mickey Gasper ends up getting most of the at-bats from now through the end of September. So we'll be watching Roman Anthony's rehab closely.
The immortal Mickey Gasper. Yeah, yes. And Wilson Contreras, an outstanding season. 25 home runs. He just needs to be like the third best bat in your lineup.
How about fifth?
Well, no, I'm saying like if he's the fifth best bat in your lineup,
I guess you'd be pretty loaded.
Then you're the Dodgers, right?
Yeah,
hey, I'll take that. Don't believe me.
That'd be good.
I'm not shouting that down, but you need him to be like he can't be like your Triple Crown guy, and that's nothing against him, but again, when you shop in the bargain bin like the Red Sox have been doing. Even when you knock it out of the park with a Sonny Gray or a Wilson Contreras, the ceiling is still low for you know what I mean? Like, even if they hit every single mark like Contreras is doing and like Gray is doing, that's great. You want those guys on your team, but they can't be your A1, obviously best leader type guys, from a statistical standpoint. We've just never seen teams, front loaded like that win a World Series.
Who's been their best player this year? Because I'm going with Rafaela.
Yeah, that certainly seems like a reasonable.
Continues to play Gold Glove defense.
He's had a great season.
Boy, he had a great beat on a ball last night. Would have been an unbelievable catch and couldn't pull it in. But his offense has surpassed my expectations as well.
No, it's Caleb Durbin is the answer.
Come on now.
That 1 month of
Mr.
Caleb
June?
Durbin. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I heard it was Ted Williamsian of Caleb Durbin, but no, Rafaela has certainly been outstanding. And there's a number of pitchers who you could point to.
For sure. Sonny Gray.
Right, and Ranger Suarez has been great too. Peyton Tolley as well.
How about Andrew Monasterio? And I asked, not as their best player, so let me change the subject.
Sure.
He's been better than solid.
Right.
If Trevor Story is back, healthy, or cleared, I should say, by the end of the week, and he'd like to, he's in Worcester, he'd like to be back with the team soon, if not by the end of the week. Are we throwing him into the starting lineup 6 days a week, right away?
No, certainly not right away. But I bet that the Red Sox, we listen to them enough, and we see the actions on the field in terms of the lineup. I'm guessing that the way they feel about this is, way to hold down the fort, kid. Well, I'll take it from here, and they'll ease Story back into the lineup because, again, just like I was joking with Durbin, the rose-colored glasses with which the Red Sox organization and a huge chunk of its fan base, I guess, view Trevor Story. I joked at the trading deadline. Who needs to pick anybody up? You got Trevor Story coming back.
But you and I are in the same camp there, right? I mean, okay, he's not bad, but he's not moving the needle, right?
No, he's not moving the needle for us, but for the Red Sox, that's what I mean. Like, they view him and the potential that he could bring to this lineup, much like they talk about Durbin, as a massive upgrade to Monasterio, who they probably look at, and like I said, admirable job.
Yeah.
You'll stay as we ease him back into the lineup. But barring Trevor Story, hitting 200, I expect the Red Sox to ride it out with him. They view him as a key, not only literally on the field, but in the clubhouse as well. And you don't want one of your clubhouse leaders necessarily taking a back seat to a youngster in such an iffy sort of situation.
Yeah, it would be a shot in the knees for Story for sure. We'll see. I'm with you, though. If Trevor Story is cleared, he's going to play. How much he's going to play, I'll be interested because, again, Monasterio doesn't stink. He doesn't. He's solid. He's certainly helped them. I don't think he should be banished to the bench, but we'll see. All right, enough with the Sox. Well, maybe not enough, but there's never enough Sox talk. But when we come back, I'm interested in what's happening out in Los Angeles with the Lakers for a lot of reasons. We'll talk about that next on the KMac Sports Hour. I don't know. One of the classic shows, first of all, I hate when people, walk into a restaurant or sit down and, hey, KMac, have you seen blah, blah, blah on, Netflix or some network I've never heard of? Keep your TV tips to yourself, okay? I know what TV is. I love my cable, by the way. I do stream. It's not a lot of fun, but I do stream. Anyways, remember the show Hang Time on
NBC?
It was HBO.
Oh, what? Oh,
HBO Max. I think it was called
Time.
Hang Time. Wasn't it the one with the about the Lakers?
Oh, right.
Showtime. Showtime.
Yeah. Hang Time was the Saved by the Bell-esque
Oh, geez, no, not
basketball
that
team,
show.
where I think, hold on, just quick, there's sports.
Yeah.
Reggie Theus
Oh, yeah.
played the coach,
Okay.
replacing Dick Butkus, who I believe was the first
What
coach.
does he know about hoops?
Hang Time. He was a hell of an actor, that Dick Butkus. But yes. Showtime. Followed
John
Jerry
L. Riley,
Buss.
right? Is that
John C. Riley.
John C. Riley, yeah.
I believe was in there. Jason Clark was another one, and it follows
Academy Award effort by
Emmy Awards, I think.
Well, no, Academy. Well,
It's a TV show.
By the guy who played Larry Bird. All he did was grunt. That guy was unbelievable.
That's pretty good.
But really did give you a Hollywood version of what happened with Dr. Buss and how he got the team. Always intrigued by the Lakers, obviously, with the long rivalry with the Celtics. And what's happening with them right now is just it's disgusting. There's I guess 5 or 6 Buss kids. They've all made a lot of money. I guess they all got roughly $500 million. That's $500 million when they sold a big chunk of the Lakers to this Mark Walter character last year. And now the other 4 of the 5 kids, or 5 of the 6, now want even more cash, and they want their sibling Jeannie to no longer have any control at all. So they have a little, squabbling fight.
It's that one. It's the second part.
Yeah.
The money is immaterial and irrelevant.
They just don't want her to have any juice?
That's correct. Jeannie Buss has sued, I do believe, on separate occasions, every single one of the other board members, which are, as you pointed out, her siblings.
Right.
So
some step brothers and sisters.
Right. And so, look, like Dr. Jerry Buss, who I was also a very big fan, loved watching him on high stakes poker as well.
He was one of one.
A legend, absolutely. Yeah. It was pretty clear to anyone paying attention that one of 2 things had to be true. One, he wanted his daughter Jeannie to be the one most involved and in most control of the Los Angeles Lakers, or 2, he did a terrible job from a public relations perspective of making it seem as though that should have been the case. So I've always read this from the outside as Jeannie was the favorite and the rest of the kids hate her, which that's fine, but this should all be viewed through that lens of, money. Sure, they could all be greedy. I'm not trying to cast them off as fine, upstanding, moral people, but they hate their sister. They don't want her to have control anymore, and that's why they're trying to sell all their shares.
And Roosh, call me gullible, but when you're Jerry Buss and you're worth, I don't know, 200 million, 800 million, a couple billion, whatever it is, don't you have like an estate plan? You can't kind of spell this out.
Well, my understanding of it is that he wanted to ensure that these dumbbells would have to work together. It's one of those. Well, you want to keep the team, you're going to have to bury the hatchet, or you're going to have to do X, Y, or Z. So, yeah, again, he put his heirs in this situation. If I were him, I'd probably be laughing from the afterlife. Seems pretty funny to me, but yeah, this is all about the other Buss siblings. Hey, again, I'm not taking sides. Jeannie Buss famously dated Phil Jackson. She's currently married to Jay Moore.
She did a pretty good job.
Right, she's a much more well-known commodity, I'll say, than the rest of her siblings. But, again, she seems to be the one that they don't like for whatever reason. I couldn't imagine. And they're out to get her big time here.
And, does the buying and selling and squabbling over pro sports teams interest you like it does me? I find it kind of comical, not because of the billions involved, but these people just can't seem to get along.
Well,
and the Lakers are they're not unique. I mean, this guy, Mark Walter, has pieces of teams around the world, and all of a sudden, well, he wants the cash from all of them like yesterday.
That's the interesting part to me.
It's crazy.
Right.
Yeah.
This guy, Walter, owns, what's the football team he's trying to sell? Chelsea?
Chelsea's got a piece of Chelsea, one of the biggest in the world.
I think he's got the biggest piece of Chelsea.
And he has something called the L.A. Dodgers.
Yeah, he was trying to flip the Dodgers and the Lakers like it was a couple of Subarus he found, like at a swap meet. Like, that's the interesting part to me, and interesting in a bad way, is, look, everybody loves money to a certain extent, and everybody loves sports. You don't want these teams to turn into the type of asset that the Lakers just became.
Yeah.
Having been sold the way they were, having been leveraged to hell the way they are now, much like the Boston Celtics. These are not things you want in your sports franchise. You don't want these to be house flips. All due respect to the great people in the house flipping industry. That's not for pro sports. And this deal specifically, all the drama aside with the Buss family, that's what I'm focused on. It's like, oh man, if this becomes like a real trend, then we could all be in for some rough waters.
Yeah, the days of Tom Yawkey are maybe long gone.
Well, that might be for the best for a lot of reasons, but understood.
Okay, bad example. Yes. How about the Stein? Your guy George Steinbrenner.
Yeah, or even Robert Kraft.
Yeah,
he's a
absolutely.
living embodiment at this point of a bygone era.
He's kind of a relic. Yes,
yeah,
exactly. Okay, I'm glad you brought up Mr. Kraft. We're going to talk about the Patriots and some NFL items next on the Kevin Mac Sports Hour. Welcome back to the Kevin Mac Sports Hour here on WPRO and 790 The Score. Ian Rappaport from the NFL Network. I've heard a lot of things in the last 48 hours on Christian Gonzalez, and one that makes, I think, the most sense right now, Rooch, is there's no issue here. The Christian Gonzalez and his camp were waiting on Devin Witherspoon. He came in with a big score, and now it's Gonzo's turn, and it might take a couple days, might take a week, might take 2 weeks, might take up until the start of the regular season, and he gets his deal done. Makes sense. But because, we do these things, we have to wonder, what a potential holdup could be. And, Rooch, is there any chance that the Patriots didn't want to wait for Christian Gonzalez to be second or third, I guess, if you throw in Denzel Ward here? Because if you remember, my friend Mr. Kraft said, we've offered Gonzalez, the highest contract in Patriot history, going to be the highest paid cornerback. Well, no, he's not the highest paid cornerback right now. He's not even in the top 10, top 20, because he hasn't signed anything yet. So maybe the Pats are a little miffed there. Possible. And then including in my camp, the presumption that, Christian Gonzalez is, a little better than Witherspoon. So he's going to be slotted a little higher than Witherspoon.
A little younger, too.
Yeah, but they were in the same draft.
I'm saying.
Witherspoon was 5th overall. And
It's coming up in the
Gonzo
meeting.
is 17th.
I'm just letting you know. It's coming up that he's younger.
Fine. He's younger by a couple months, maybe. Who knows? I don't know what the difference is, but it's not much. Witherspoon has been to more Pro Bowls. Witherspoon has a Super Bowl ring. I mean, I'll start here. Is it clear cut that Christian Gonzalez is better than Witherspoon? I don't think that's the case necessarily.
Well, I don't think anybody thinks that it's a clear cut. It also doesn't matter. Like, again, as I've said before, if let's say Witherspoon is the consensus number 2 cornerback in the NFL, and Christian Gonzalez is consensus number 8, he is going to get more money because he signs.
Just because of the order?
Yeah, that's exactly how it works. It's the next guy up is going to get more money.
Well, I'll stop you right there. Why do the Patriots have to follow that?
They don't.
There you go.
Yeah, so you sell your team to someone who knows the rules of the game.
Yeah.
Again, as I said, if you weren't planning to pay Christian Gonzalez, you should have traded him last year or this year. You should have actively attempted to trade him. This is the price of doing business. And I'll say, from a feeling good standpoint, Robert Kraft, either he's a moron who didn't understand the situation ahead of him and his team and his negotiators, or he's what you sort of laid out in the beginning. This is just the process. Yeah, Christian Gonzalez, he could have read the tea leaves then, a month ago, whenever it was that Robert Kraft said that, and it's where this market is headed, once it settles, no matter the number, since we're going to sign this guy, he's going to be the highest paid, New England Patriot ever. So,
and the highest paid cornerback.
Yeah, and I think, right, again, to me, the highest paid, it does not signify the best.
Mm-hmm.
It signifies you're the best on your team, considered one of the best in the league, and you're up for a new deal. Right? It's really that simple.
Because is Stingley 1 year younger?
Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, he will. I think he's the best cornerback.
Well,
so
yeah,
whenever
next?
it's his turn, he'll be number 1.
That's right. And if someone after him is ranked 10 spots behind, he'll get more money than Stingley because that's just how it works. Because your choices are meet the demand of the market, or the guy is going to go somewhere else to get the money because there will be another team to pay it, because that's what the market is bearing right now.
Sure.
Again, it's just the market rate. The numbers get crazy, and people, whoa, that much for that guy?
Well, and
it's
I
the cost of doing business.
The other thing that I heard today, which was interesting, Greg Bedard, I believe, was talking about it, is that with any of these, big deals, it's how much money is guaranteed, how much you're going to make in the first couple years, and then how much is going to be deferred to usually a much lower number later in the contract. Because Gonzo is so young, you would assume he wants the big money up front, because most players do. But then again, maybe he wants it, maybe he wants it both ways. And the Patriots aren't going to fall for that. And again, there's no reason to paint, Gonzo in a bad light yet, because we don't know what he's asking for. The Patriots haven't gone public with any negativity in any negotiations. But again, this is what we do. We're going to throw out conspiracy theories until there's a press conference or a press release.
That's right. And as I've said before, the fact that the Patriots haven't gone on the offensive at all from a negotiating standpoint, by which I mean they haven't used the press. This guy's asking for $45 million a year.
Yeah.
Or even, this guy's asking for 35, and we think that's nuts.
Or we think he's healthy. I'm not quite sure why he's not reporting.
Right, exactly. You haven't heard any of that. All you've heard is we love Christian Gonzalez. We plan on making him the highest paid player in the history of the franchise.
That's pretty positive.
So I'm still remaining positive. As simple as it sounds, you're right. There are a lot of factors at play in terms of when you get paid, how you get paid. It's not just the length and the amount of money per year. So, I would have had this thing hammered out already, waiting based on what I thought Witherspoon was going to get, because he got what everyone expected him to get, which is another flashpoint that I'd point to in terms of Christian Gonzalez is probably going to follow suit. Denzel Ward, Devon Witherspoon, both clients of the same agent, the same agency, they got exactly what the market predicted they would get, and I would expect the same for Christian Gonzalez.
Okay, the last thing that I heard is Gonzo believes he's the number 1 cornerback in the league, and he doesn't want to be timed out as no longer the number 1 player, number 1 cornerback in a year or in 2 years. That's impossible. But by what you're saying, if he gets $36 million a year, Stingley, or I'm again assuming he's a year younger, I believe he is. Whoever the next cornerback is, it's impossible. I don't know how they can, group the money or space out the money where, Gonzalez remains the highest paid cornerback for the next 3 seasons.
No, they can't. And you know who would have a big problem with Christian Gonzalez demanding something like that? And that would be the NFL Players Union, the Players Association.
No question.
Because that would just throw absolutely everything out of whack. Yes, he's entitled to all the money that he wants. But to your point, and we talked about, dotting the lowercase J's and the I's, as it were, here, Christian Gonzalez could be looking for special provisions within his contract that guarantee that should he fall out of the top 5 or things like that in terms of highest paid cornerbacks, then that could trigger something within the contract. Again, I don't know what the Players Association and the negotiated CBA allows for from that standpoint, but these would be the types of things that should he be interested in remaining towards the top of the pay chain that he could investigate and see if the Patriots would be willing to give him.
All right, as far as the Pats, well, we all know Mike Vrabel, he played with a chip on his shoulder. He coaches with a chip on his shoulder. He says he wants this team to be a little tougher. Yeah, talks and chirps. Mike Vrabel, an all-time talker and chirper. Just ask Thomas Edward Brady, right? Those guys went back and forth for years, offense, defense, etc. By the way, the first penalty where, I don't know, Christian Gonzalez throws a late cheap shot after a tackle. Can we blame it on Mike Vrabel? He wants to take the last shot, the last legal shot. Yeah, good luck with that.
Well, you have heard from camp that Gonzalez has been a lot more, upfront and vocal in terms of his attitude and his role as a leader on the team. So maybe he'd want to be the one to embody that attitude and show Mike Vrabel that he's up to the task. That's how he'll get his contract.
That's it.
One good sheep
He's gonna
shot
be
on
the
the
tough
sideline.
guy.
That's right. Take out one of those Eagles on A.J. Brown's behalf, and that'll earn you the big bucks.
Yeah, looking forward to getting up and watch the Patriots and the Eagles tomorrow. We'll be reporting on it tomorrow on tomorrow night's show.